Sydney, a modern, orderly, and peaceful city among the safest in Australia. But on a March morning in 1989, a dead body was found beneath the trees in a quiet park. It was an elderly woman, her face bruised, a ligature mark around her neck, and the strangest detail, a pair of women's underwear neatly placed beside the corpse. From that moment, police entered a nightmarish labyrinth where the next victim could be anyone's grandmother, mother, or neighbor. And the killer? He hid among the crowd, smiling, speaking politely. Before striking, he was called the Granny Killer. But when the truth emerged, the whole of Australia shuddered. This was not just a murderer. He became a symbol of the darkness that walks among us. Born in 1932 in Wolverhampton, England, Glover immigrated to Australia in 1956. He lived in Mosman, Sydney, with his wife and 2 daughters. Glover was known as a polite man, a hard worker who actively volunteered in the community, especially helping the elderly. However, behind that kind exterior lay a criminal past full of theft and assaults against women. He looked so proper, polite, soft-spoken. I remember him bending down to pick up the bag I dropped. I thanked him, then turned away. And then everything went black. In her final moments, as his hands tightened around her neck like an invisible noose, the man's eyes were no longer kind. They were cold, emotionless, as if she were just an old doll to be thrown away. Detective Mick Gerondis stood frozen beside the 4th body, yet another elderly woman, living alone, showing no signs of struggle. No witnesses, no clear evidence. But what was bizarre, why was there always underwear? He leaves it behind like a signature, like he's playing cat and mouse with us, and I'm starting to fear that if we don't act fast, another mother, another grandmother will never make it home. They think I'm a good man, a model neighbor. I go to nursing homes with cakes, help the elderly. They smile at me, trust me. But I know, my kindness is just a mask. I don't regret it. Each time I ended a life, I felt relieved, like a monster inside me was finally quiet. I didn't choose them, they chose me. Every wrinkled face, every lonely smile. It was like they called out to me, and I just finished what they were ready to let go of. Glover typically targeted elderly women who lived alone. He approached them kindly, then attacked them with a hammer and strangled them using the victim's underwear. After the murders, he often stole their wallets and meticulously arranged the crime scene, placing shoes neatly and pulling up their skirts. This initially led police to suspect a sexual motive. Gwendolyn Mitchell-Hill, 82 years old, attacked on March 1, 1989, in a nursing home. She suffered head injuries and broken ribs. Her wallet was missing. Winifred Ashton, 84, attacked on May 9, 1989, near her home. She was struck in the head and strangled with underwear. Her wallet was also missing. Margaret Pahood, 85, attacked on November 2, 1989, on her way home. She was hit in the head and robbed of her wallet. Muriel Falconer, 93, attacked on November 23, 1989, at home. She was struck in the head and strangled with underwear. Her wallet was missing. Joan Sinclair, 60, attacked on March 19, 1990, at home. She was hit in the head and strangled with underwear. Her wallet was missing. Case details. At noon on March 1, 1989, in a suburb of Mosman, NSW, where most residents were elderly widows, 2 young men exited an elevator in a nursing home and found 82-year-old Gwendolyn Mitchell-Hill crawling toward the security door with a head injury. The men immediately called for an ambulance. At first, it was believed the elderly woman had fallen. But upon examining the wounds, doctors concluded she hadn't just fallen. Her head injuries and broken ribs were caused by external force. Gwendolyn died soon after. Her wallet was missing, and police confirmed it was a robbery murder. However, no evidence or witnesses were found other than the 2 young men. Police realized they were dealing with a cunning criminal. More than 2 months later, on May 9, 1989, a passerby discovered the body of 84-year-old Winifred Ashton in front of her house. She lay face down, her shoes and cane placed nearby. Like Gwendolyn, her handbag was gone. The autopsy revealed bruises on her head and shoulder caused by a blunt object. 5 ribs on her left side were broken. But unlike Gwendolyn, the cause of death was asphyxiation. Police began to suspect the killer was targeting elderly women in the same area, murdering them in a similar fashion at the entrance to their homes, all involving missing wallets. The case was even sent to the FBI for assistance. On October 18, 1989, another elderly woman was attacked, but miraculously survived. However, Due to Alzheimer's, her vague description of the attacker was of little help. Public anxiety surged again when 3 more elderly women were found dead within 24 hours, all strangled with underwear. New South Wales' most experienced detectives were mobilized. Then, on January 11, 1990, a major break came. The killer made a crucial mistake. That day, a man wearing a pastry delivery uniform entered a room in Greenwich Hospital with 4 frail elderly women. He approached one, Daisy, a terminal cancer patient, and groped her. Daisy, panicking, pressed the alarm, and a nurse rushed in. The man fled, but the nurse noted his car's license plate and reported it to police. Hospital staff recognized him, a regular visitor selling cakes. His name, John Glover. Police called Glover in for questioning about the January 13 assault. But his wife soon reported that he had attempted suicide and was hospitalized. On January 18th, police visited him in the hospital and requested a photo to show to the nurse and Daisy, who both identified him as the assailant. Detectives now believed Glover could be tied to the series of murders. He denied involvement, and police pretended to accept his story, but secretly assigned 6 detectives to follow him. In the following days, they saw him frequently chatting kindly with elderly women. On March 19th, Glover visited the home of Joan Sinclair at 10 a.m. The two had a close friendship, and the police made the mistake of letting their guard down. Hours passed with no movement in the house. Concerned, the detectives decided to break in. Inside, they saw a blood stain on the floor and a hammer lying in drying blood on the carpet. Joan's body was found in the back, strangled with underwear. Glover was immediately arrested. Friends and family were in disbelief. The quiet, family-oriented man turned out to be the notorious underwear killer. Police investigations revealed Glover was addicted to gambling. To feed his habit, he stole from vulnerable elderly women who were easy prey. The crimes were not sexually motivated, but he deliberately staged the scenes to mislead police. Psychologists suggested his choice of elderly women may have stemmed from childhood trauma. He had lived with a harsh, domineering grandmother, which may have planted the seeds of hatred. Glover's trial began in November 1991. He pleaded not guilty to murder by reason of insanity. The court rejected this defense and sentenced him to life imprisonment without parole. On September 9, 2005, after over 10 years in prison, Glover hanged himself, closing one of Australia's most disturbing and horrific criminal cases. The case shocked and terrified the public, especially the elderly. It also raised serious concerns about how society protects the vulnerable and the efficiency of investigative systems. Glover's case showed the importance of processing information effectively during investigations. It emphasized the need for better training and skills among law enforcement to handle complex crimes. I did it because I had to. Something inside me wouldn't let me be. Every time I killed, it went quiet for a while. Glover admitted to killing 6 women, but psychologists believe the real number could be higher. He was intelligent, calculated, and above all, a master pretender. When the lights go out, Sydney seems safe once more. But the ghost of the granny killer, the murderer behind the mask of kindness, remains a chilling reminder. Evil doesn't always growl. Sometimes it whispers, smiles, and holds the door open for you.